What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, February 12th. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, and let me know in the comments section who are your favorite options for tonight's slate. We round out the bottom of my top 10 with Luka Doncic, Patrick Williams, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, and Josh Jackson on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It is time to find out. First up, number 5, I'm looking at Julius Randle. Power forward eligibility, projected for 45 fantasy points at 8,600. He's in the optimal lineup 21% of the time. Talking 37 minutes, 28% usage, just a baseline projection of 24, 11, and 5. But the real key piece here, great defensive matchup against Washington. They're not very good. And huge pace up spot for the Knicks. The Knicks are the slowest team in basketball. The Wizards, one of the fastest. Bradley Beal not going to be active for this one either. The amount of additional possessions here for Randle is fantastic. He's like a 1.23 fantasy point per minute guy in this spot. I don't mind this $8,600 price tag at all. He should absolutely beast against the Wizards. This is as good of a spot as you will find for the Knicks. You have to be playing Julius Randle today. Speaking of guys you have to play, number 4, center eligible Al Horford, 6,200, projected for 39. The goal is just 44. He ends up in the optimal lineup 21% of the time. Now, I have him at 30 minutes, but he could play more. This Oklahoma City team is super shorthanded. 17 points, almost 7 boards, 6 assists, 2 stocks. It's a slate pace down spot against Denver, but there are only 9 active players, including Horford, on the Thunder. And when these other point guards are off the floor, with no George Hill, with no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, with no Teo Maledon, Al Horford has bonkers rates. 30% usage so far this year in like 100 minutes with these guys off. 10% assist, 10% rebounding rate. He does a little bit of everything. I tried to be muted there, but just those rates with a little bit of a twist down to be not so extreme, that makes Al Horford a 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy. You cannot avoid him. He played incredible the last time out, and I expect everything to run through him again. We talk about Point Diallo, but it's more realistic to think about Point Al Horford. This is the guy you need. 6,200, not the correct price tag for him. I like going to him at center. Number 3, I'm paying up for Damian Lillard. Point guard eligibility, 9,500, projected for 50. The goal's 55. He's in the optimal lineup 22% of the time. Now, it's actually not a great spot. It's a pace down spot against Cleveland. They lose 1.5 possessions, but what they lose in pace, they gain in matchup. Happy to take on this Cleveland team. No Larry Nance actually makes this defense a bit worse. The more they're integrating Jared Allen and Andre Drummond, I think that's better for Dame. Should open up the perimeter a little bit. 37 minutes, 33% usage, 29 and 10 as a baseline, 1.35 fantasy points per minute with no CJ and no use of Nurkic. I went to him last night. It was fine. I would have preferred to have Steph Curry, but what else are you going to do? I'm happy to go right back to him again. 9,500 is just not a price tag I'm all that worried about. I'm certainly not worried about Darius Garland or Collin Sexton in the backcourt. It seems like a perfect opportunity to spend up for Damian Lillard, and there's more than enough salary to go around on this 11-gamer. Now, I just kind of crapped on him, but number 2, Collin Sexton, shooting guard eligibility, 6,500, projected for 36, goals 45. He's in the optimal lineup 23% of the time. That's more frequently than Dame. 35 minutes, 30% usage, 25, 4, and 3, a steal, and just basically like a pace neutral spot. He's a 1 fantasy point per minute guy. I just really like that price tag, and I think shooting guard's a tough position today. The salary works whether you're doing stars and scrubs or balance. 6,500 is basically the average salary on FanDuel. I like getting to Collin Sexton. I'm not all that worried about anybody else from Portland. They have no defensive presence to speak of. Enes Kanter going to give up a ton of buckets at the rim, just not his style. So I like Collin Sexton. I think his ability to shoot the rock this year at the very least and to get to the rim should be fine. I expect the minutes to be a little bit higher. This should be a competitive game. So 35 minutes of Collin Sexton at 6,500 is enough to be my number 2 play of the day. Now, before we get to number one last reminder, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman for some updates. They're not coming tonight. I'm just letting you guys know. Not playing this slate. I'm going to be done once the strategy show is over. But, you should follow me for future reference sake. Go watch The Process, by the way, my new show every morning, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m., breaking down the rotations for this slate. And then let me know in the comments section, who do you like on FanDuel for tonight? This one is the no-brainer of all no-brainers. If Mason Plumlee is out, and I'm expecting Blake Griffin to also be out for rest, power forward eligible $3,600 Isaiah Stewart is the best play on this slate. It's not close. You can see he's in the optimal lineup 41% of the time, 28 fantasy points with a GPP goal of 35. You really can't go wrong here. Even if you have him and he has a pedestrian day, that price tag doesn't ruin you. 29 minutes, 10 points, 9 boards, 2 stocks. Tough matchup against Boston, but they don't have any choice. They don't have other big men. Isaiah Stewart is the only center available. Jeremy Grant used to be a bit of a stretch 5, playing a different role now for this team, but this is all that matters. He's $100 above the minimum, and he's going to be the starting center as long as Mason Plumlee doesn't play. You have to play Isaiah Stewart today. It's a full-on lock, first guy in every lineup you're making. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, February 12th. This is it for me. So watch the process show that I put out. I'm on the strategy show with Greg Ehrenberg this morning, and then that is it. I will be back again Monday morning with another edition of the Contenders. Good luck tonight, guys. Have a good weekend.